Hi, this is Marsha.
And this is Kelly.
We are the Two Ewes of Two Ewes Fiber Adventures. Thanks for stopping by.
You'll hear about knitting, spinning, dyeing, crocheting, and just about anything else we can think of as a way to play with string.
We blog and post show notes at twoewesfiberadventures.com.
And we invite you to join our Two Ewes Fiber Adventures group on Ravelry. I'm 100 Projects.
And I am betterinmotion.
We're both on Instagram and Ravelry, and we look forward to meeting you there.
Enjoy the episode. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Marsha. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Me too. School has started.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Your favorite time of year.
It is. It really is. And actually, it's been a lot of fun. The last couple of days, I've gotten to meet. I had some activities that I didn't do in previous semesters, and so I've gotten a chance to meet students online. A little bit better than what I've done in previous semesters. So, yeah, I'm learning. I'm getting better. It's getting to be a little more interesting and fun, and all that
nice.
training pays off.
Yeah, really.
Ask me again, though, how I feel.
Yeah, really.
In November.
Yeah.
But right now, day 3, right? This is Wednesday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is Thursday. Day 4 of the semester. It's going great.
It's going great. You don't even know what day of the week it is.
I know, really.
This is a good sign.
I feel like I'm attached to the hip with my computer between doing all the school stuff. I don't have Zoom class meetings, but jumping on Zoom to help students with questions, emailing back and forth to students, putting up assignments to students, grading assignments to of students, checking in to make sure they've done all the things that they needed to do. It has data analytics, so I can see what pages they've been looking at and, figure out what I need to do. Like, oh, they're missing this. Students don't seem to be looking at this page. They're missing this information. I need to make sure I put out a notice, all this stuff on my computer. And then when I'm done for the night, and then in the morning before I start, I'm looking at the news on the computer. I'm looking at Ravelry on the computer. And then when I'm done at night, I take the computer to bed and I watch TV, watch Netflix. It's like this computer is like practically attached to my body. Mm-hmm. I'm going to really be in need of a digital detox at some point.
Well, yeah, maybe someday.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
It's funny because I don't really mind. Most of the stuff on the computer is it's enjoyable. Looking at Ravelry and talking to students and all of that. But it is watching Netflix or Amazon Prime. It's not terrible. It's so funny. This one device is doing everything for me.
That's a lot of time looking at that blue screen or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
Well, what have you been up to since we last talked?
Well, I went to the San Francisco International Pen Show.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I saw your pictures. It looks very cool.
Who knew, first of all, that there even was such a thing? Although I should know that, if there's a yarn conference, of course there should be a pen conference. I mean, every hobby's got to have their get-togethers. I saw on Instagram the mascot for the pen show was a white German Shepherd. And so on their Instagram feed, they were posting pictures, Odin says, wear a mask. And have you gotten do you know what pens you're going to be looking at? And there's a picture of the dog with the pen in his paws and, all these different pictures with pens. And then I saw there was a hashtag dogs of the San Francisco Pen Show. And then somebody said something about, and then one of the posts was, is your pooch coming or something like that? And I thought, wait a minute, what? Wait, what? Because we were trying to figure out what to do with the dogs, They don't really have a lot of experience being home alone. And that's a distance away for us. So it's going to be all day. And the two together is a lot for Aunt Betty to to have to deal with.
Right.
So we were trying to manage what we were going to do. And we had thought we would bring them both in the truck, but then it was going to be like almost 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And there was covered parking, but Robert's truck is tall. And so there's always the worry, what if it doesn't fit in the
Right.
covered parking? The old truck didn't fit in covered parking. This one, the shell is a little bit lower. He didn't get the taller shell.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, there was all this like angst about what we were going to do. And I had, thought, well, I need to call the hotel and get information about their parking structure. Anyway, when I saw that, I was like, oh, she can come to the pen show. So
Mm-hmm.
Bailey came to the pen show.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fun.
Did she buy a pen?
No, I didn't let her have any money. But she was really good. And there were other dogs there. We didn't get to see the white German Shepherd. I guess they were busy running the show and not, didn't have the dog with them. But yeah, he was there at the after party that evening, but we had already gone by then. So
The pen show has an after party.
yeah, it's called Pen Show After Dark. It looked like a lot of fun.
It's so clever.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like kind of like the lobby at Stitches.
Mm-hmm.
So after hours. So yeah, I also found out that there's an intersection, quite the intersection between pen lovers and knitters.
Okay.
So I wanted to give a few shout outs to some people that I talked to at the pen show. One of them, her name is Rena. I don't remember her last name, but her Ravelry name is So What Sports, and so is SEW.
Okay.
And she actually was telling me that she had written an article for Ply magazine. And I don't have this issue, but it's in the electric issue. I was going to try to get it because I'd love to see her article. It's in the electric issue of Ply magazine, which I think was in May or April.
Mm-hmm.
And she wrote an article about being a nomad spinner. So she's sold everything and she's just living on the road. And one of the things that she's doing as she lives on the road is these pen shows. She was at a booth for a shop called Toys in the Attic.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I bought a pen case from them, a little travel case that fits in the pocket of my briefcase. And she showed me all about it, how you could step on it and it won't crush. And so it won't, my pens won't get smashed in my briefcase. And it has a magnet clip that is super strong so that it won't pop open. And but anyway, her article was about how she spins on the road with an electric spinner. So that was really cool. So shout out to Rena, Ravelry name So What Sports. And then I was at the Peyton Street Pens booth. And Peyton Street Pens is the one that's local to me. It's an online shop, but they are in Santa Cruz. All of the pens I've bought have been from them.
Except the one from college.
Right. The one that I bought in college, I clearly did not buy from them.
Yeah.
But then that inspired me to make a small collection of Schaefer Targas from that same era, which I bought from them. And then I got the older Schaefers for Christmas and my birthday. And those were also from them. So anyway, I wanted to meet Terry and introduce myself and say hello and have her put a face to a order blank,
Yeah.
And so I went over there to talk with her, and helping in her shop is a woman named Elizabeth. And she's like, "Did you knit your sweater?" So I think this actually is what created my knowledge about this intersection, because I wore the Edie, my EDT, that's that variegated yarn, the turquoise and beige variegated. And so she said, "Did you knit your sweater?" And I said, "Yes." And then I said, "Are you a knitter?" And she said, "Oh yeah." And so she goes to her bag and she pulls out her shawl and she was making a beautiful, or she had in her bag, it was finished. It was what she was wearing, she had in her bag a beautiful multicolor shawl. So that was really fun to get to meet somebody and she's on Ravelry, but I didn't get her Ravelry name. And then there was another booth where I actually bought a little leather cover for a field note for my field notes notebooks.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's what they call a traveler style notebook, where it's a cover with elastics, and then you just insert almost as many of these little field notes notebooks as you want inside by using these elastics to attach them. So I bought the cover from them, and it's Curnow Bookbinding.
Okay.
And the woman there was also a knitter, and I did not get her name, unfortunately. But yeah, she told me her Ravelry name, and I didn't write it down, so I don't remember. But yeah, that was really fun to meet her too, and I was able to buy the little book. And they have Curnow Bookbinding. It's Curnow. They have an Etsy shop, and they sell the cutest notebook thing. I didn't buy one at this shop, but I think I might have to at some point go on their Etsy shop. But they take old books, and then they use the covers of the old books, and they put hand-sewn notebooks inside.
Okay.
So they had Hardy Boys and some other titles that I didn't recognize. But I was just thinking I should go back and look at their site, because what a fun gift for someone. You know, if you know that they really loved a certain book when they were young. Like, let's say they loved Nancy Drew or Hardy Boys, and you go on and you see, you know, that notebook. So I thought that was very clever. And then they also had wooden notebook covers that were like laser engraved. And there's one with a really cool octopus. I almost bought the octopus one. And then there was also a woman who made felt art notebook covers and had bowls for your paintbrushes.
Okay.
And she was like, no, they're not knitting bowls. They're not yarn bowls. Like, okay, she knows about yarn bowls.
Really?
I guess if you craft with felt, maybe you do know about yarn bowls. So, but they have little lips on them, so you could put your watercolor brush on the lip of the bowl.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it's very cool. I bought the cover to the notebook cover. I bought a pen, a really darling little small, like under 4.5 inches, little orange and black 1920s or 1930s pen that fits into my little notebook. So that's really cool. Yeah, I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Didn't spend all my money.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's good. Is that good, Kelly?
Yeah, it was fine. I wasn't sure, what I was going to see or what I was going to want. And there was a lot of interesting stuff there, but a lot of the things I don't feel like I know enough. So it was more of a learning. It was more of a learning experience to go. And then there were a couple things I wanted. I wanted the pen case that I could put in my briefcase to protect my pens. If I ever get back on campus, if I ever go anywhere. And then I wanted the cover to the field notes notebooks. So, so yeah, but lots of intersection between knitting and this whole pen and stationery world.
I remember having this whole discussion about the intersection of knitting and chickens.
Yes.
And now we can add knitting and pens.
Knitting and pens, knitting and chickens, knitting and dogs.
Yeah.
There are a lot of intersections.
Yeah.
Knitting and teachers. Pens and teachers. Anyway, we could go.
The list goes on. Yeah.
Yeah. All the cool people do all the cool crafts, right?
Yeah, that's true. So,
Yeah.
well, that sounds like it was really fun. And I think you sent me some pictures.
Yeah.
And some of the pens are just beautiful. They really
Oh my
are
gosh. Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Really,
Yeah.
really, really beautiful. And some are really, really, really expensive.
Yeah.
But
and
there's
then
a pen, there's a pen price for everyone. That was another thing that was pretty cool to see, really wide variety.
Well, and I was going to say, with those really expensive pens, you probably wouldn't want to take it out of your house and bring it to class because it'd be easy to lose something like that, which is nice now that you have the case too, because that'll be harder to lose than a pen, having it in a case. So.
I've been using the case. I have a bag that I pack in the morning when I go out to the trailer just because it's easier to carry all my stuff. And so I've been using the case in there, and it's really nice because it just fits exactly in the pocket of my felted bag. And then the flap closes because it's magnetic. It closes over the edge of the pocket. Mm-hmm. So it's real easy to just flip that flap up and grab the pen out and then close it back up. It's not like I have to take something out, take the pen out of that. I could just reach into it's become like it's not permanent, but it's almost like a permanent pocket a permanent hard-sided pocket in my bag. And that was kind of what I wanted, is something that I could just put in my bag. It'll stay in my bag, and then I could just flip up the top and get the pen out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was nice. I also saw Marianne, our friend Marianne.
Oh, yeah.
A running stitcher, or Mari Knits Too, on Ravelry, I think is her Ravelry name. Anyway, so that was fun. She said she was going to come for the end of the pen show. So we stood around and talked probably a good 30 to 40 minutes. So I hope she had enough time to do damage after we got done talking. So we were headed out, and she was headed to take a loop around and see what she could find. So, so yeah, it was really fun to see somebody in person.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's been years. Well, a year and a half. We're getting up on it'll. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the
last time I saw her was in February of 2020 at Stitches. Yeah. So that was really fun to have a chance to meet somebody in person. So it was just a fun day all around.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Well, so it's very cool. Next year, maybe I'll come down for it. I'm not. Maybe I need to get into these pens. I'm not into the pens, but maybe I should be into these pens. I don't know.
Oh, it's pretty fun. It is pretty fun. Well, and I've got. Okay, we won't talk a whole lot about this, but I've now got a little system with my notebooks to help me remember what I have to do for my classes and stuff, and that's been kind of fun too. We've talked about our lists. And I still have the steno pad that I use to keep lists. But now with that little small notebook cover, I have a couple of notebooks in there, and one's for each class. And so I just jot little things, or if I need to make a list of students that I need to contact, I can actually write their names down on. It's all in the computer. But sometimes you just need to write it down, have a list, and then go back to your email and create the email, So I'm using it for all that kind of stuff, just like little scratch notes that I need for my class. So it's kind of fun to have a new little notebook system that I'm developing here.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And what else?
Well, I have some knitting.
Okay. You want to talk? Should we talk projects then?
Yeah, I do have some knitting. I'm working right now on my sweater, and I'm almost finished with the first sleeve. I have probably 18 to 20 more rows of the cabling and then the ribbing at the bottom.
Wow, you've made really good progress.
Yeah, it's going. It seems like it's going slowly, but that's just because I haven't had a chance to pick it up recently. Or the other thing is, when I've had the chance to pick it up, I've had to then rip back because my problem is that the rows are, the rounds on a sleeve are so short
Yeah.
that I forget to mark them off.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm going, if it's a longer one and you get finished with it, it's like more momentous, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so you remember to mark it off. I still forget, but I have an easier time remembering in that case. But with this, I'll get to the end of the row and just keep plowing on. And
keep going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, and every fourth row, I think it's every fourth row is I have to do cable crossings.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, oh, shoot. Have I gone 3 rows? Is this the time for the cable crossing? Oh, is it only 2? And then I'm trying to count. And then I make the cable crossing like, oh, shoot, no, that's too small. I needed to go one more. Or, oh, no, that's too big. Oops, got to go backwards. So I've done quite a bit of unknitting the whole round or going back and just undoing the section of the cable crossing and fixing it. It's a little irritating that I can't count. I find it to be annoying. Not so annoying that I've learned to do it. But,
yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit annoying. I get really irritated with myself. But it's fun pattern. I'm enjoying this pattern. I'm really enjoying the yarn. This is my hand spun CVM 3-ply that I over dyed, and the natural color is a light tan. I think when I originally named the yarn, in my project page, I called it "Have a Little Coffee with Your Cream." Because the color of the yarn is, we used to have as a kid, I don't know if you guys did this, but my grandma would make us coffee milk.
What is that?
Well, it's like an inch of coffee, and then the rest of it's milk in your cup.
Oh.
And so it's like you're having coffee with your adult, family members. It's like you're doing this grown-up thing of having coffee, but you're really just having a glass of milk. Mostly. So anyway, we used to have coffee milk. Not all the time. It was a special treat to have coffee milk. So it reminded me of that coffee milk where you're really just having milk and you're having a little coffee with your milk. And that's the color of the yarn. And then I dyed it with I think it's called dark red dye. And so I've got this kind of a orangey, rusty terracotta color. So that's the yarn I'm using, which of course you already know, but I'm letting people know who might not have listened before, because I don't know if you noticed, Marsha, but we have quite a few new listeners.
We do?
Yeah. Yeah, over the last few months.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
All that talking is paying off.
Yeah, well, and I think some of them have come from, I can kind of look at the statistics, the analytics on the Libsyn site, but some of it has come from Spotify. So now that our podcast has been on Spotify for a while, it's starting to get more listeners there. And then there's another one called Ghana, which is I think it's I want to say it's in India, is where that podcast app is used more.
Okay.
So we have some listeners on that app. Anyway, so yeah, welcome everyone who's new. Nice to see you. And I wanted to just make sure you know about my sweater. And the pattern that I'm using, I think I forgot to say that. The pattern that I'm using is called Dark Green Forest. And it's by Christina Carber-Reith. Or Reith.
And I have a question about your sweater, because where are you with the sleeve issue? Because remember, we talked about this the last time, that you think it's going to be okay because the color is slightly different, but you think the last time we recorded, I think you said you thought it was going to be okay.
Oh, right? Yeah, because I was only like an inch or so past, and now I'm quite a ways down, and this sleeve is looking fine.
Okay.
There's a slight change in the variation, because the kettle dyed yarn is varied anyway. There's a slight change in the variation about the place where I started the sleeve, but there's also a slight change in the variation a little higher where it was within a single skein. And then there's slight changes in the variation as it goes down the sleeve too. So I think it looks pretty seamless.
Good. That's nice to hear.
Yeah. I think that's what kept me from actually putting the sleeves on for so long. I was kind of worried about that.
Good.
But this one's going well. Hopefully the second one will go just as well. But I think it's going to be fine. Yeah. I'm pleased to say.
Very nice. Well, it's really pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this pattern. I'm glad I found it. It's not a very well used pattern. I think there were only like maybe 20 projects. Let me see. There are 25 projects.
Okay.
So yeah, only a very few people, 24 people have made this pattern. So, but I'm having a good time with it. And I think it's really well written. It's very detailed, a little bit daunting when I first opened it up, but once I started actually reading, kind of like my students in my online class. Once they actually read the directions.
Yes. It's not daunting at all.
It's not so daunting. So no, it's been really a good pattern. I would highly recommend it. So, and then the only other thing that I've been doing is I finished with the pinkish purple yarn that I was using for those dishcloths, and I cracked open a couple of skeins of green. So I've got a dark green and a light green variegated. They're really pretty. And I was thinking back to when it was that we did this. I think we dyed this yarn in like 2015, Marsha.
Well, yes. It was a while ago.
Yes. So I'm really glad to be finally getting some use out of it.
Yeah. Nice. Is that it for projects for you?
That's all I've got. I haven't done any spinning. I haven't touched Faye's blanket, but her birthday's in October, so I'm thinking I'm going to finish it for her birthday.
Okay.
That just seemed like a good milestone. Once I passed a certain point, it was like, okay, now it's just going to be a birthday present.
And it's an achievable goal, right? Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
For October? Yeah.
I have just the edging to do, so it should. And crochet goes pretty fast, and October's a month away.
Thinking of October, I was thinking the other day, I think I texted you a picture that I threw out a bunch of yarn, gave it back to the Goodwill, to the universe, and then I organized all my yarn, and I also got these little plastic boxes to put the yarn in, and I had extra boxes, so I decided to put my unfinished projects in these clear plastic boxes so that I would see them.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Yes. And one of my clear plastic boxes that contains my unfinished skull. And I was thinking, I think this is the 3rd October. But I was, I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd October.
I think you're right.
And I'm not even, well, I don't know. Maybe something will happen. I'll get it done by the 31st, by Halloween. Unlikely, but one could hope. Did you
start on the teeth?
I finished the teeth on the, now I can't remember.
You finished all the teeth?
No. I finished the teeth on the lower jaw.
Oh, okay.
And now I think I have to, and there's, how many teeth do we have? 32?
32.
I don't know. It has the accurate number of teeth. So,
yeah.
How many teeth is that? I've done half of them. That's 16 teeth, I think.
Yeah.
Kelly, is that 16 teeth?
Yes.
Can you do the math? Can you divide 32?
I can do that math. I just can't count.
Anyway, and then I need to sew. Because I was looking at it and I've actually knit all the parts, except I have to finish the teeth and then sew it together. And I have to knit, I have to get some dark gray yarn or black or some dark color to knit like the eye socket. Yeah. Because as I recall, and I never, as I say, I didn't get to that part in the pattern yet, but I think what you do is you knit basically like it's a ball kind of like, that's not, it's like but it's like a half circle kind of, that's going to be pretty, that you then push it back into the skull kind of to make like the eye socket.
Okay.
And
I'm remembering the one I did the mask, the Day of the Dead mask, and it had the eye sockets too. And I think it was just kind of like it had some short rows in it, but yeah, it was kind of just like making a circle, and then that gets sewed on the back. I should bring you, do you need dark yarn?
Yeah.
Okay, I should bring you. That's another thing we haven't talked about that I'm coming up to see you.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second because I have something to say about that too.
I'll try to remember to pack. I have some of the that Rambouillet, that the replenished Rambouillet that we have in our shop. I have some samples of that from Lonnie. And one of them is a dark color. I'll bring that, and that might work.
Well, the other thing I have, I will get to my projects, but the other thing I have is just I have a lot of fleece, dark brown, black fleece that I could just spin some and spin a little bit and knit that. That's the other thing I was thinking.
That's another obstacle though, to make it not get done.
I know. So
I'll try to remember to pack that because
I will just remind people because as Kelly, as you said, we have a lot of new listeners. But I bought this pattern, so it was not last stitches, but it was the stitches before the stitches we went to before the pandemic started. Because I can't even remember, Kelly, when did the pandemic start? Is that 2020?
2020, yeah. It was stitches 2019 when we got crazy about the skulls.
Yes, and we went crazy for these skulls, and you bought like the Day of the Dead, and they're kind of flat, they're not, where mine is actually like round 3-dimensional skull that you felt and then you stuff. And
I have that pattern too. I just didn't start that one. I got excited about starting the Day of the Dead, the Day of the Dead mask skulls.
So, but anyway, it's in a clear box so I can see it now when I go down there.
Yeah.
Into the cellar.
The room under your house.
Yes. So anyway, and I'm trying to think, do you remember who the pattern maker was? It's Woolly
Wonders or something like that.
Yeah, Woolly Wonders.
Is that right?
So I think so.
But if you talk and I'll look.
Okay. Well, anyway, so that's it with this. I'm bringing that up just because I found that skull down there, and it's October, so it just kind of made me laugh thinking about it. Okay. While you're looking, we'll go back to it, but I'm going to talk about my next project. So, Kelly, the last time, 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Atlas, the Jared Flood pullover that I'm making for my brother. And remember I said I had some concerns?
Yes.
About size? I know. So it's too small. I mean, like he can get it on, but he said it's just like there's not enough room through the shoulders. Let me back up. It fits through the body, like the torso. But when you get up onto the yoke through the shoulders, it's, he said it just feels tight. Like he can put it on and it looks okay, but he said it's not super comfortable. And he said to me, well, maybe if you wash and block it. And I said, it is washed and blocked. So I think it's just sitting in the guest bedroom. And I'm thinking about it. And I thought, I'm not going to rip it out yet.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to be frogged. You mentioned that you're coming up. And so I'm going to speak about that now. So you're coming up, you're driving up from California.
Yay.
Yay. And we are beyond excited. Is that fair to say?
Gosh, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That is definitely fair to say. Yeah. So I decided that since I had to endure the pain of teaching 100% online for 3 semesters now, that, well, actually 3.5 semesters. This is the start of my 4th semester. Spring, fall, yes. This is the start of my...
Again, Kelly, again, the counting.
This is the start of the 4th semester with 100% online. And so I thought, if I have to endure the pain of this, I'm also going to get some of the benefit of this. And one of the benefits of teaching 100% online, which in the before times, not very many people at the college had the opportunity to do that. It was not something that was routinely done. And in fact, there were moves towards making it so that people couldn't teach 100% of their load online. So there were just very few people who could do it. But one of the advantages of doing it is that you can teach from anywhere. And so I thought, okay, I could teach from Seattle. And then I could work during the day, and then I could play in the evening. And actually, with online classes, you can play in the day and work at night. You know, you can rearrange your schedule however you need to. So I thought, I'm going to take advantage of this once in a lifetime for me, because I don't intend to teach 100% online ever again if I can help it.
Right.
But I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to teach really remotely. So I'm going to be teaching from Seattle, which is going to be so fun.
I know. So I'm very excited. So, and we have everything planned, well, sort of planned out what we're going to do. Basically, when we're in Seattle at my house, we're just going to sit on the deck and spin and knit.
Yep.
When you're not working, we're going to be spinning and knitting on the deck and walking dogs and just playing with dogs. And because you're bringing Bailey, you're not bringing Barry though. He's going to stay home.
In fact, he's having afternoons with Aunt Betty because because he needs to get practice of staying with her. And he's 4 months. This pair of dogs are the only dogs I've ever raised where I haven't practiced having them be by themselves. All the other dogs I raised from puppyhood, and that was just a part of the routine, was that they had to get used to being alone. And of course, Bailey came with her own issues about being alone. And with Barry, it's just, it's harder now because there's 2 dogs and we're always home. So he really hasn't had a lot of opportunity to learn to just be the stay-at-home dog.
Yeah.
And not have me around, not have Robert around. So he's been practicing afternoons with Aunt Betty. She gives him cookies, and he's learning to be happy down there in her room.
Well, he's a pretty easygoing dog. I mean,
well, it's funny because he does seem like that, but he has fears that you just don't notice because of the way he acts. Like he was really afraid to go in the door to her room from outside.
Oh.
I don't know why. There was just something really strange about it. Maybe it felt like going in the basement. I don't know.
Yeah.
He just had a real fear of it, and so we've had to really work on that. And then once he got in, he immediately wanted to go out. And so, but you know what? He likes food. And so she's been giving him cookies, and he's been learning that it's a happy place.
Well, and Aunt Betty is fun, and she loves dogs, and all the dogs love Aunt Betty, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. He'll be okay while I'm gone.
Yeah,
it'll be different for him, but he'll be okay. But anyway, I'm really excited to be bringing Baby on a road trip.
Yes, so we're gonna have a week in Seattle, and then we're gonna go down for about a week to the Washington coast and do the whole beach thing.
Yes,
and so we're excited about that too, and let Bailey and Enzo run on the beach, because Bailey's been to the beach a couple times with you and Robert, right, down in California, but
once, we went.
Just once, and so I'm excited about that. Just to the beach. I mean, well, it's my favorite place. Side note: I'm going more and more side notes, but we're going down to. I will get back to my project. Because we're going to that community called Seabrook, where we always go. And I've talked about String Theory Yarns that's owned by Jean. And I noticed that she posted on Instagram that she and her husband bought an Airstream trailer.
Oh, wow.
For traveling, which is super cool and super exciting. And my first thought was, how are they going to go anywhere? Because she was telling me in the summer, she works like 120 days straight because she has to. She's open 7 days a week, and she's the only person in there. She doesn't have an employee, and so I thought, when's she going to use that trailer? And I thought, I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh,
she's retiring and she's closing the shop.
Oh Oh no.
So I assume she's closing the shop. Seabrook then posted that she's retiring.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if somebody has purchased the business from her or what's going to go on with the yarn shop. But I'm a little heartbroken, I have to say, because we love Seabrook, but it was really nice having the yarn shop. Like we could go in there and check in, before you go to the beach and say hi and then stop by afterwards. And she always had knit nights on Thursday nights, and it was really fun just to go there. And you met a lot of the people who lived in Seabrook or in the surrounding communities. So I'm a little heartbroken. Mm-hmm. But she still lives in Seabrook, so I'll see her. But
that's good.
So I'm happy
maybe
for her.
Maybe someone
that,
will buy the shop and it will continue.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Nice. Well, it's a difficult, yarn shops are a difficult endeavor.
Yeah.
At any point. And then Seabrook is a little place kind of out of the way. And then the pandemic can't have been good. Mm-hmm. So I can certainly understand.
And I suspect part of it too probably is it's just a lot. She has a dog and Cooper, and she said it's hard to when she works in the summer. He doesn't get down to the beach at all because she's working. Yeah. So anyway, but back to projects. Back to my atlas. You're coming up, and I see. You probably thought I'd lost my train of thought. Thank goodness I have. I went so far off track. No, but you're coming up, and I decided I'm going to wait till you get here to look at the sweater and look at it on Mark, because I don't know. You've done color work before. I need to have Kim come and look at it too, because as I've talked about in other episodes, this is the first color work sweater I've done in 20 years. And it looks nice, but I'm wondering if maybe my tension is too tight or something. Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't seem like it has a lot of give. Yeah. Now, I realize it's not going to have this, it's not going to be the same type of fabric that is on the body because it's color work, right? Mm-hmm. But I wonder if maybe I need to go up a needle size. So the body is worked on 7s and the yoke is worked on a size up, so on 8s. And I want to talk to you about it. Maybe Kim, do I need to maybe go up 2 sizes on the yoke?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. And listeners can weigh in on this if they want. I bought a color work sweater in Iceland where it's a cardigan, a zippered cardigan, and has the same type of concept of the yoke. And when you feel that, it doesn't feel much different than the body that is not color work. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, if I'm knitting too tight or something?
Maybe the yarn isn't a good match for that. Yeah, I'll be happy to look at it and see. Yeah. It could be any number of things. It could be that the fabric is stiff because of all the layers and the type of yarn that it is. Or it could just be a tension issue. Yeah. Well, and Kim's done quite a bit of color work too, so she's
done a lot of color work. And then, and the other person I thought I should contact too is Mom Diggity, Joanne, because she lives just a few blocks from me, and she does a lot of color work too. She might be able to.
Oh yeah, that would be a good
maybe
idea.
I'll reach out to her and see if she could take a look at it and see, because yeah. Anyway, I need a little bit of help on that, but it needs to be ripped out, and I'm just going to wait till you get here, and that could be one of our projects as we sit on the deck over a bottle of red wine is rip out that sweater.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You need companionship for something like that.
Well, and the thing is, it takes. Well, I knit it pretty fast because I worked on it exclusively, pretty much, and it's bigger needles and whatnot, but I don't know, 2 months maybe I knit it, but it'll take literally 10 minutes to rip that thing out. Anyway. So that's what's going on with that sweater. Okay. And then, do you remember I looked it up, I cast on Simple Shawl back in 2018.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
And it's been to Scotland twice, I think, and it's been to Iceland. Anyway, it's a pattern by Jane Hunter, and I finished the picot bind off. So that's I bound off. I've not washed or blocked it yet. Let's see. I cast on a new project. We have a friend, Brian, who likes the tea cozy that I made for my other friend, Gary. So I said I would make him a tea cozy. So it's that Nanny Myers tea cozy by Amelia Carlson. I made one for Gary and I've made 2 for myself. And it's that one where you alternate, it's all garter stitch, but you alternate, like 6 of your of one color and then 6 of the second color and keep alternating that across. And you pull a little tight so it
oh yeah.
These stripes create like ridges kind of.
It's like corrugated, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember.
Yeah, it's like corrugated metal kind of. Mm-hmm. And so he looked at all of my spirit yarn. There wasn't any colors that he liked. So I said, let's just go down to Acorn Street here in Seattle. And I said, just buy Cascade 220 because it's a good all-purpose workhorse yarn and they have really nice colors and stuff. So he went down there and he couldn't decide what he wanted. He was really attracted to a red and green. And then he also was attracted to a blue and yellow. And you know where this is going, Kelly. Because as I'm saying it out loud, I'm thinking, don't say it. And then I said it. I said, oh, just buy all 4 colors and I'll make you 2 tea cozies. So, so he's getting, I know. So he's nice. I'm cast on the red and green one, and they're the Cascade. All of these are Cascade 220 Heathers. And there's one called the one I cast on is red wine heather and
that's a pretty one.
And a green called Ireland with an extra E at the end. So I don't know how you pronounce that. But they're really soft colors.
Yeah, I think that red wine heather is the one that I used for my heroine jacket.
Okay.
A long time ago. This I might even have been kind of pre Ravelry. It was
and heroine as in a woman who's or not the drug.
Not the
okay.
Drug.
All right.
Yes. Yes. I can't remember who the pattern designer for that was, but it's a felted coat that you knit with 2 strands held double, and then you put in the washer and felt, and it's double breasted. Anyway, I think that's the color. It's a really pretty color. It has some little blue strands through it.
Yeah, really I've got close. It right here. Yeah. Really nice. They're really nice together because, super nice together, the 2 colors. So, but it's just kind of funny going down there to Acorn Street. You know, of course, any yarn shop, people are super friendly, right? Yes. And so we go in there and to figure out colors, and of course you're confronted with a wall of Cascade 220, and where do you kind of start? You know, and I said, well, let's just narrow it down. We want to do heathers. He was pretty sure he wanted that. And so we were picking out the colors, but this is the part that I think is so funny is, you know, everybody gets involved in the project, right? Like, what are you making? And both the people working there, the shop owners and everything, the clerks, but then also customers. So I think that was actually kind of fun, you know, that everybody got involved with picking colors. You know, I think he was surprised, but I also thought it was a really enjoyable process, you know, of everybody has a say. So anyway, I'm working on that, and you knit sort of the 2 halves and then sew them together. And I have done, I would say, 3 inches of the first side. So that's coming along. And then I finished my summer spinning project.
Oh,
so,
yay.
Yes, I know. I'm very excited. I just dedicated myself to it, and I have a couple things to say. The first thing I'm going to say about plying is the Lazy Kate that comes with the little Herbie spinning wheel. The bobbins are vertical on it, right? And then there's like a spring, and then you screw down a knob to hold it on there. But then that spring put some tension on the bobbin, right? So that it's just not free spinning off the single is not just free spinning off the bobbin, right?
Yeah, because if that happens and it gets spinning too fast, then it stops and it starts turning around the other direction, and then you have a mess.
And then it starts plying on itself, kind of the single, right? So, do you remember when I bought the that Ashford spinning wheel from that was from the 80s and had never been assembled? Well, it came with a Lazy Kate, but the bobbins are on there horizontally.
Okay.
Kelly, so much better.
Oh, good.
Because what I found, and I think it was when the bobbins are horizontal, the singles sometimes like the what am I trying to say? It's like you're putting pressure on it, like because you have to tension it, right? Those springs put some tension, so it's just not free spinning. But it also then sort of pulls the single into the layers of singles that are wound onto the bobbin.
Yeah. And then the other thing that happens too is if you're pulling just up, it's like it's below you. And so on the wheel, attached to the wheel, and you're pulling up. So what you have to do is you kind of have to put your hand down there and pull it out. And so it's a real
straight.
Yeah, it's a real technique. And then also when you're pulling up, it can catch on the edge of the bobbin.
Yes.
Which is rough, and that will break. There's lots of ways for the yarn to break when you're plying.
But what I found is the single would break, but then I couldn't find the end because it got buried into the other yarn wrapped around it. So for this I had the green and brown that I had made. I used the Lazy Kate from the Little Herbie. And then I think in one of the podcasts we were talking about this. And so I got out the other one from the Ashford where the bobbins are horizontal. And so all the brown, the 3 skeins of brown I plied with the horizontal Lazy Kate. Totally different experience. My yarn didn't break once.
Nice.
And so I love the Little Herbie, but that design is not very good. I think it's good but you're right. You have to keep your hand down there. So it's coming off. And then this one, you don't have to worry about it.
And I'm not as tall as you, so I'm closer.
That's true.
I'm closer to those bobbins, and so I just kind of got used to a technique, but it is true. Spinning off of a horizontal, plying off of a horizontal bobbin is very different.
Yeah. Cool. And then I remember too, when you were first showing me how to ply the yarn, you had me put the Lazy Kate quite a ways away from me, like several feet away. And I noticed like when I was spinning, I just had it, on the side of my chair blocked by the table leg kind of, because it doesn't sit flat either. That's the other thing. It's
designed to attach the wheel. Yeah.
Wheel. And anyway, so that was just a cool thing. It's making it much better for me, much easier.
Nice.
But anyway, I've got the 2-tone one. I'm calling it the barber pole. It's the green and brown together. I have about 950 yards. And I think because it's already in skeins, I didn't think of doing the wraps per inch. So it's somewhere between a DK and a worsted.
Okay. Well,
it might be DK. I don't know. And then the solid brown, I have 661 yards. That is a 3-ply plied off of 3 bobbins. And then I have, do you remember when the first time I plied it, I didn't have 3 bobbins of the brown. So I thought, I'll just do the chain ply or Navajo ply, but it's a little bit different. And so if you count that skein in, I have, I have that other way around. I have 536 yards. If you add in that odd skein, I have 661 yards of the brown.
Okay.
So adding that all up, it's about 1,600 yards or about 1,500 yards, So I think I have enough for a sweater for Ben. And so I've been looking at sweaters, and I need to do a striped sweater. So I have 3 options. The first one is a pattern from, it's called Thun, Thun, by the Blue Mouse. And I don't know if you've looked at that, Kelly. It's
I'm looking at it right now.
And I'm trying to look at it. Here we go.
Oh, that's cute.
So it's cute. It shows it on a woman, but it's a unisex sweater.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a stripe, quite big. So the yoke is one color, a solid, no stripes, I should say. And then like the body and the sleeves part of the way down are big, thick stripes.
Yeah. I like those stripes better than I like the little stripes in the other pattern that you showed me.
Okay. So the only thing I would change about this is it has a split. The ribbing at the bottom is split, mm-hmm. and the back is longer, twice as long as the front. Mm-hmm. The ribbing is twice as long as, and I think I would make that for a man. I would make that without the split and then the same.
Right.
I would do that's one thing I would
consistent ribbing all the way around.
Yeah. And then the other one I'm looking at is let me go back. It's called Pooch, Poche, mm-hmm. and that is by Caitlin Shepherd. And it's sort of the same idea. It's saddle shoulders, sort of the same idea, but you're right, Kelly. It's thinner stripes. But I thought that was a pretty good, and it seems like I have enough yarn for that. And the only other thing I would change too is you, after you've knit the sweater, you apply over the left breast a patch, like a leather patch or a fabric patch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd put that on.
I don't like that. No.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'm considering is, do you remember I think it was the last time we went to Stitches, and we were having lunch with a bunch of people, friends that we know, and there was a man there named Frank Jernigan, and mm-hmm. he has a website. It's Franco, Prank. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Prancko. And he does custom fit sweaters. That's not what it's called, but it's that same thing where you put all your measurements in and your gauge, and it will create a sweater for you. And so I was thinking I might do that, and he has saddle shoulders. So I was thinking I might do his sweater and then add stripes to it.
Yeah.
Just get a basics. Because Ben is, he's very tall, but he's very slender. And so if you just do one of these sweaters, it's actually designed for your body, it would fit really well, I would think.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah. So that's what I'm considering.
That sounds good.
So
you got some choices there.
Yes.
Some good ones. Well, before you make your segue, Marsha, I just wanted to say, while you were talking about your spinning, I went and looked up the skull pattern designer, mm-hmm. and her name is Ellen T. Sebelius, Sibelius. And mm-hmm. Give her patterns a look. You may never want to knit something that fiddly, but there may be something that you fall in love with on her pattern pages, because she has some very cool patterns. But with your spinning finished, Marsha, I didn't finish my summer spin yet. Maybe I'll finish it while I'm up visiting you. I'll bring it with me. I mostly have plying to do. So mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Well, just remind people the summer spin ends Monday, midnight on Monday, September 6th.
That's right.
So
get your projects into the pages, your finished spins, and also if you made anything using your hand spun. And I didn't finish this sweater that I'm knitting out of my hand spun either. So this time I was a spin along fail, Marsha.
Yeah.
There's no failure in spinning. I have a beautiful sweater, mostly finished, and I have quite a bit of singles on my bobbin. So I'm happy with what I was able to accomplish.
Well, that then.
I should say about prizes. We have prizes for the spin-in that we'll draw in our next episode when I'm up in Seattle. And the grand prize is going to be a pillow, fabric designed by Cheri Magnusson, who's a shepherd of an Icelandic flock in Maine. And then we also have a project bag donated by Three Green Sisters. And then we also, for people who aren't spinners who might want to enter, or spinners who want 2 chances to win one of these bags, we have a thread up in the Ravelry group that you can win. We're going to do a giveaway in that thread for a project bag as well. So, and then if you don't want to wait to see if you won, you can just go and look at her bags. And if you use the coupon code EWES2, EWES2, you'll get 15% off all the way till the end of the year. So take a look. She has some very pretty bags.
Really, yeah. Yeah, really cute stuff. So, all right. Well, we have one more thing we need to talk about. We want to talk about.
Yes. So we're still having the pattern giveaway for our Patreon sponsors. People have been messaging me about the patterns. You get a pattern of your choice up to $8. And just message me on Ravelry or email. I have one email that I have to get to that I haven't sent out the pattern yet. I'll have to do that tonight after we get finished here. But the patterns that people have selected, so fun to see. I mean, it's fun to be able to give a prize to our patrons. It's fun to be able to support designers. But I'll tell you, Marsha, it has also been fun to see all these patterns that people are selecting.
Yes. A few have gone into my, a lot have gone into my favorites.
Yeah.
So
I've done a similar thing. I have a few. I keep them in my queue, but yeah. I'm like, oh yeah.
So we have a list of them in the show notes, so you can. So anything that really stands out.
Well, the Beautiful Together shawl, I think, is really nice, and I haven't done a lace shawl in a while. It's a Romy Hill pattern, and I have not done a lace shawl in a while, and so that was kind of like, oh, I'm now at a point where I kind of miss shawl knitting. I think I need to think about casting on a shawl. So that was one of them, and then of course. I'm just going to say, Edie is a great pattern. I was happy to buy that for someone because it's just a great pattern. I love my Edie. I have 2 of them, and I love them both. They get a lot of wear, and I just was happy to see that pattern on the list. What about you?
Well, there was another, because I love the Edie as well, too. That's a great pattern. I know somebody else picked a T. Derecho? Derecho, is that how it is? Allison Green, that's a really cute t-shirt too.
Yeah, that is a cute one.
That's cute. What else do we have here? There was Stripes. I've been looking at this. Stripes by Andrea Mowry. That's cute.
I like the cropped pullover, the Nydia by Vanessa Smith. I don't really wear clothes that it would work with, but I really like how it has the sweater and the cowl. And so when you wear I growing up in the late 70s, I guess it was the late 70s, cowl neck sweaters became a big thing. And I've always liked them. And so you can have a cowl neck if you wear the cowl. And then if you take the cowl off, you just have a scoop neck. And it's really, I think it's a really clever design.
There's another cute t-shirt, the Friday tee by Petite Knits. Petite Knits. Did you see that one? It's a striped sweater. It's very cute too.
Oh, let me look. Yeah. I remember seeing that one. Yeah, that's
cute.
Cute.
Did you see the Sleepy Polar Bear?
Oh my God. I think I'm going to make that one. That one went on my list of things I think I have to make. I had heard of that pattern. I had no idea he was so big. He's big.
Yeah. It says here about 17 inches in length.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a boy.
A chunky polar. Well, it wouldn't have to be, Not all polar bears are male.
Did you look at the picture of its rear end? That's adorable.
It is cute, yeah.
And the little tail and the little paw is adorable.
Yeah, it's a cute pattern. Susan B. Anderson has some darling patterns. But like you could make it a little colorwork sweater. You know, it has a sweater on, but you wouldn't have to make it. It's a plain sweater with a it looks like it's a marled yarn. I love the little toe pads on the bottoms of its feet.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it would be fun to make that and also make it a little colorwork sweater.
Yeah. Well, and then speaking of colorwork sweaters, there's a beautiful Radari.
Yes. The Icelandic.
And the Icelandic one. And I'm not pronouncing this way, but it looks like it's Veddis John's daughter. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is really pretty.
Anyway, everyone should just take a look at them because they'll end up in your queue.
Yes. Yeah. There's danger there, but
or not queue, but in your favorites, or you might even just click the buy button.
That's right. Yeah. There's danger there, but it's the good kind of danger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Very cool.
So yeah, and this is still going on. So if you haven't contacted me yet and you're one of our Patreon patrons, just get in touch with the pattern that you'd like for your special gift.
So I think that's everything. Do we have anything else we need to talk about, or we want to talk any more rabbit holes we want to go down, or deep dives?
We better not, because I have office hours in about 20 minutes. Okay. I can't think of any real big rabbit holes. I stopped myself from going further into spoonflower after the last episode. But there was quite a discussion going on about spoonflower in the Ravelry group. So
yes, I know. I saw that. So,
speaking of the Ravelry group, if you are a new listener, come join us on the Ravelry group. We have discussions about spinning and weaving. The big discussions going on now are the spinning discussion that's been going since the summer spin-in started. We have a winter weave-along discussion that's been going on since last October. We're almost ready to start our next winter weave-along. And then we have morning coffee where you can talk about anything. Recent conversation has been about dogs and how chaotic the start of the school year has been for all the different teachers that are there in the discussion. But yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I go there every morning while I have coffee. That's why I called it morning coffee. But you don't have to drop in the morning, and you don't have to drink coffee.
No. Yeah.
Just a fun way to keep in touch with some fiber friends.
Yeah.
So feel free to join us on Ravelry in the discussion. The Two Ewes Fiber Adventures group is where you'll find it.
Okay. I guess that's it then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go so you can get to your office hour.
Okay. I'll talk to you
and
soon.
then I will talk to you in person because you will be here in just
a few days.
Next week you'll in a few days. Well, not a few days, but a week.
Well, less than a week.
Less than a week.
Yeah, it's less than a week. It's feeling very close. Tuesday. I leave Tuesday.
So as soon as you finish your office hours, go pack.
I know. Really. And I'll remember that dark yarn.
Yeah. Put it on your list right now.
Okay.
Use your finest fountain pen and put it on your list.
Okay. Will do.
Alrighty. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening. To subscribe to the podcast, visit 2ewesfiberadventures.com.
Join us on our adventures on Ravelry and Instagram. I am betterinmotion and Kelly is 100 Projects.
Until next time, we're the 2 Ewes.
Doing our part for World Fleece.